welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Today I'm doing another challenge chat for episode 8. So if you've been watching my channel for the challenge chats, you'll see that episode 7 is missing. The cord that connects my camera to my laptop broke, so there was like a little bend in the cord where it wasn't connecting my camera to my laptop. It wouldn't recognize my camera, and so I couldn't upload any of my footage to my laptop. And so that was happening before I even was gonna sit down to film episode 7. By the time I ordered one on Amazon to get it shipped to me, episode 8 was already about to air like the next day. And so I figured I'm not even gonna try to film episode 7 to get it up for you. I'll just go ahead and film episode 8, which is a huge bummer because episode 7 was actually really fun and really cool because Leroy got his gold skull, which I was super pumped about. And I was just super pumped to talk about it. So I would say for episode 7, that was pretty much the highlight of the episode for me. I'm super happy that he got the skull. I am sad that Jay happened to be the one that he went against because unfortunately, I was pretty much rooting for Jay to stick around a little bit longer, especially since he did get sent home so early last season. So it's unfortunate that Leroy had to beat Jay in order to get his skull, but I'm still happy Leroy got it. I'm still hoping that he's gonna make it to the finals for sure. And I'm still hoping that Leroy is going to win, but we'll see. So I'm glad that's what happened in episode 7. So let's just get into episode 8. So pretty much after Leroy earns his skull, him and Cam kind of start plotting about where they want to go from here. Of course, you know, it's not always up to them. They are going to have to still win some eliminations and kind of get some power to make some moves, but they're already kind of thinking strategically like who they want to remain partnered with or who they would like to see out of the game. And pretty much they want to make sure that there are still some strong competitors around in the end that they'll be partnered with to run the final with, but they also want to get certain people out. For now, they said they want to keep Anissa in the game. I'm thinking that's kind of because they trust her, but also because they are thinking in their head, you know, if they have to run a final against her, maybe they're thinking that they would beat her. They definitely are wanting Teresa out of the house. They're thinking maybe Lolo could be the person to beat her, maybe Casey could be the person to beat her. But of course, you know, Leroy and Casey are partners right now. So in my head, I'm thinking, you never know what type of elimination it's going to be. So, you know, Leroy and Casey could win a daily challenge and then want to throw themselves in against Teresa. And then TJ could say, surprise, it's a double elimination. And then Leroy is going to end up going against Corey or whoever Teresa's partner is at the time if she ends up sticking with Corey. So I just think there's a lot of factors that play in here, so we'll see what happens. Lolo and Nam are definitely still not seeing eye to eye. They just do not seem like they're a good working pair together, and they can't seem to get that communication down and kind of communicate to each other what they need out of their partner. So we also kind of see the guys kind of talking, and they want to get Fessy out. So even though Fessy has his skull, they definitely do not want him sticking around, and they do not want him in the final. So Kyle, he's thinking in his head, I kind of want Josh to go against Fessy, because Josh at this point doesn't have his gold skull. He wants one, of course. So Kyle's like, maybe Josh could be the person to go against Fessy and earn his gold skull. And if not, well, then I guess Josh just goes home. So Kyle in his head is thinking, okay, if we can get Anissa and Fessy to be the house vote, then whoever are the double agents, they can throw Josh and Nany in. Kyle is also kind of salty against Fessy because he blindsided Kyle and Cam. So Kyle's definitely holding a grudge, but it does make sense to want Fessy out of the game anyway. I definitely don't think Cam would go for that idea, especially because, like I said, her and Leroy want to keep Anissa around for now. Anissa is partners with Fessy. If Kyle and Cam would win an upcoming daily challenge, I'm not really seeing them wanting to throw in Anissa and Fessy or trying to convince them to be the house vote right now. So we get to the daily challenge, and it's called All Brawl. So there are a couple rounds, but TJ says he's not even going to tell us about the next rounds until we finish one round. So pretty much for All Brawl, 5 at a time rush into a mud pit, search for a relic, and he says it's an iconic relic, and then you find it and you go to the finish line. And there's only one relic in there, of course, and there's going to be one winner per round, and that's just phase 1. So round 1 was Big T, Lolo, Cam, Anissa, and Nany, and there's already some drama starting off in this round because Lolo thought that Anissa choked her. And at first I'm really thinking like, okay, she's definitely being over dramatic. So then I rewound the show. I'm gonna insert the clip here, and I tried to see what she even meant. So when you slow it down and you look at it, okay, it kind of does look like Anissa's choking her, but like not intentionally. Like I don't think she really meant to like, you know, really grab her by the neck to purposely like choke her. I think she was just trying to get a hold of whatever she could. So yeah, I could see if you're new to the challenge world, that might come across as like disrespectful, I guess. However, usually if something comes across as like dirty playing, the producers are gonna call it out and disqualify you, or at least give you like a warning. It sounds like that didn't happen, so they didn't really see it that way. Let me know what you guys think about that though. Again, I thought she was for sure being dramatic. Once I slowed it down and looked at it, I said, okay, that could be iffy, could go either way. But like Darrell said and CT said, some other people said, it's just part of the game, you know, like that's challenge world. It's just another day at the office. You know, it's not like a official formal Olympic sport where there are all these super formal rules. At the end of this round, Cam ends up with it after Nany had started off with it, and Cam ended up getting over to the finish line, and she won this round. Now the second round was Fessy, Josh, Nam, Michi, and so Josh and Fessy kind of partnered together to kind of like stay on the outside. They didn't want anyone else to be able to get out. So they kind of hung out on the outsides because they're big enough. They thought, okay, if anyone finds it, they're not gonna be able to get past us. So Nam is super smart, and I was so shocked by this. He finds it, but he stays kind of like low to the ground. He pretends he doesn't have it. He's still in the mud. He's like, oh, F, I can't find it. And then the second Fessy turns his back, he takes off running to the finish line. Super sneaky, but super smart, and Nam wins that round. So that was hilarious, but also it just was a cool moment for Nam because it's like, you know, he finally won. Hopefully this builds some trust in him and Lolo. She sees like, okay, he's like really competing, and you know, just kind of builds some confidence in Nam. And then in the next round, Casey, Gabby, Amber, Teresa, and Amber M. Teresa tried to do the same thing Nam did. Didn't go over as well. She just didn't really have as good of like a poker face, and I feel like it's just not as original and just didn't work out. So Gabby was able to get it. Once everyone found out Teresa had it, Gabby was able to grab it, went out, she won that round. And then with the guys round, it was so weird because CT was kind of pulling a Nam too. So it was CT, Corey, Devin, Darrell, and Leroy. And CT is not really looking. He's kind of just like dragging his feet, and everyone's like, CT has it, CT has it. And even Leroy went over there and he checked like around his foot and he didn't feel anything. And even CT bent down and he was like, he picked up a rock and he was like, oh, that's a rock. Like pretending he thought he had it, and then he's like, oh no, that's a rock. And then somehow CT did have it the whole time and then just took off running and won that round. So I don't know how they didn't know that he had it, especially when they went over to check and everyone kept saying, CT looks suspicious, like check it, he has it. So then in round two was more of like this pole wrestle or like X battle thing where the winners from each of those rounds, the girl and girl, and then the guy and guy would go against each other. Whoever yanked it away from each other would win. So we have Gabby versus Cam, and then CT versus Nam. And they were both pretty close. I mean, Gabby put up a good fight, but Cam is just a beast. She easily won against Gabby. And then CT and Nam was a lot closer of a round. Nam was holding on. He was fighting pretty hard, but CT is CT, and CT was just gonna win. So obviously with CT and Cam winning, there's no way they're gonna say, okay, third round, CT versus Cam. Not gonna happen. So instead they're like, okay, grab your partners, and it's gonna be one team versus another. Same thing as round two basically, but it's gonna be like team versus team. So instead it's gonna be CT versus Kyle, and then Cam versus Big T. So Big T and Cam go. I mean, all the love to Big T, but there's just no way. She's beating Cam. The size is just against her at this point, and Cam wins so easily. When it comes down to CT and Kyle, you know, CT is just so mad because he's like, I know I can take Kyle easily, but if I keep winning, if Cam keeps winning, we're gonna be at this draw the whole time. So I guess CT just let Kyle win. And at first I didn't realize that. Why is something in my eyeball? At first I didn't realize that. I thought that Kyle actually somehow beat CT, and then they show the interview clips where it says CT just let him win. Otherwise it would have been this like circle forever. So anyway, at the house, they start kind of talking. Nany and Josh want to go in against Michi and Amber M. So they're kind of campaigning for Michi and Amber M to be the house vote. Nany wants to get her gold skull. Josh wants to get his. Makes sense. CT in one of his interviews says he regrets not picking Cam. A little too late there now, buddy. One thing I thought that was interesting is CT saying this could be like his rebuilding season. So it's almost like he's seeing it now. He might not be winning this season, and he's like okay with it. But he is still in the game, he's still trying, and he's still making it work. And then Nany says in one of her interview clips too, she does want to make it to the final just to prove to herself she's still capable. And I feel like Nany says that every season. It's almost getting a little old at this point. Every single time she's on, she says, I just want to prove myself. I just want to prove it to myself I can do it. And it's like, you can do it, but the competition is just so tough, you know? But she says that every time. She just wants to prove she can do it. I mean, I'm still rooting for her. I hope she makes it. Amber M and Amber B are kind of falling out, it seems like. Amber M's having some trouble trusting her. Amber B saying she's gonna do whatever's best for her game and her partner. So we'll see where that plays out. But Kyle is kind of talking to all these rookies and Big T, kind of trying to convince them to make Aneesa and Fessy the house vote. So when it comes to the deliberation, Michi and Amber say they're not ready to go in. And then they're like, okay, so like, if you're not ready to go in, it doesn't matter. That's not really what this game's about. If you're getting voted in, you're getting voted in. I mean, if you're not ready to go in, like, when else are you gonna earn your skull? You know, like, when are you going to be ready? You can't just keep delaying the inevitable. So they say they're not ready. Aneesa's caught off guard when she hears that someone said her name. She kind of thinks Amber M might just be making this up, and that this is Amber M just stirring the pot, even though Kyle is the one that's behind this. But we'll see if Aneesa actually finds that out. CT voted in Aneesa and Fessy, which is interesting when they kind of showed people who voted for who. And Amber B did vote in Amber M. So when they kind of go into that chamber and cast their vote, sometimes they show who people voted for, and then usually they show who the compromised agents are who are going into elimination, but they didn't show it this time. It just showed Cam and Kyle's surprise face, and it didn't tell us who they actually were. So we're not finding it out until we get to the elimination. We see this set up, the same type of elimination that Aneesa and Tori had, and then we find out the compromised agents are Michi and Amber M. So didn't have enough votes to make Aneesa and Fessy that house vote. They're sticking with Amber M and Michi. So I'm interested to see who's gonna get thrown in by Cam and Kyle. Kyle kind of starts making this weird little speech. I thought maybe he was gonna actually throw in Amber B and Darrell, because he made it sound like he was gonna use this information, and it was just weird. The way he was acting was strange, so I thought maybe he was gonna throw in like friends against each other, like Amber B against Amber M, but he didn't. He just threw in Josh and Nany, which makes sense because they wanted to go in anyway. And so I'm like, okay, cool, Nany can earn her skull. Then you find out it's a guy's elimination. And this is why I'm like confused, because if there's only one guy gold skull left, why isn't it at least a double elimination? You know, if not that many girls have gold skulls yet, I feel like it should be at least a double this week, if not just a girls elimination. I really wanted Nany to get her skull, and I feel like this would have been the perfect opportunity for her. As much as I have faith in Nany and like her, I mean, her size isn't necessarily there against some of the other girls, so we'll see if she can get it in the end. It's that same game Tori and Aneesa played, but it's going to be harder. So they solve a puzzle first. The puzzle is going to tell them which targets they can throw at and which ones are going to break. So then they'll have to pull that crate and it'll fall over to have these bombs fall out, and then fire them at the targets. Shockingly, Josh solved the puzzle rather quickly. I don't know why, but I was kind of thinking it might take him some time. I thought it might be pretty even, at least in that beginning portion. And then for some reason, he's having so much trouble throwing them at the targets. I'm like, did he not look at his puzzle to tell him which ones he's throwing them at? Is he just having really bad aim and he's hitting the beams between the targets? It's just like hilarious to watch, and even TJ is cracking up, which is always funny. And then I'm thinking like, okay, well if Michi just hurries up and solves this puzzle, maybe he has a chance to catch up. But in the end, he just couldn't finish the puzzle. Josh ended up winning the elimination, and now Josh has a skull. So Josh is so annoying, just saying. He does say in his like after interview that, you know, he's doing all this for his family, so it's hard for me, and I guess, not to be happy for him. I just really don't like Josh. And it seems like most other people don't like Josh, at least on Twitter. So I don't know how he keeps getting invited back, but oh well. He has a skull. I hope, you know, he does good just because Nani's his partner, and I want her to get her skull too. So Josh keeps Nani as his partner. He does not pick any others. So that leaves Amber M being the rogue agent since her partner Michi was eliminated. As far as alliance updates, not a ton, but really just that Amber and Amber B and Amber M are pretty much on the outs. Amber M told Kyle to tell her, hey, if you see that Amber B voted for me, tell me. And Amber B did vote for her. So I wonder if Kyle's gonna hold on to that information or if he's going to stir the pot. So I'm assuming that alliance is definitely going to start breaking. So I'd be interested to see where we go from here with that. As far as memorable moments, I would just say maybe that CT comment. I would say Nam winning his round in the daily challenge. That was pretty good. Pretty sneaky move. And then I would say just, I was shocked that it wasn't a double elimination. I was really thinking we were getting close to a double here soon or a purge. Maybe that'll be coming up in the next episode or two, but next episode is trivia, which I'm super excited about because that is always fun to watch. Well, that's it for this week's video. I actually didn't even find any tweets this week because I wasn't even scrolling on Twitter during the episode, but next week, top tweets will be back. So let me know your thoughts on this episode. Were you happy that Josh got a skull or not? Are you wanting Nani to get hers next, or what are your thoughts at this point? And do you think a purge is coming soon or a double elimination is coming soon? Let me know your thoughts below. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any more challenge chats, reactions, or reviews. I will see you in my next video.